Now what?
Hey, greetings, Wowhead. Welcome to my video. So, I've just returned to WoW again. I'm playing Classic TBC Anniversary. Not sure if the Anniversary Edition is any different than normal TBC, but maybe people can give me some pointers or explanations in the chat. Comments below. So, anyways, I returned to WoW after, oh my gosh, I'm not too sure, over a year. I think the last time I played was SOD Season 1. Before that was the first introductory to Dragonflight. So I played that for maybe a month before I gave it up. Haven't returned to retail since. But other than SOD, I thought, you know, why not give TBC Classic a shot again and just slap this stuff on my channel, which I created about a year ago and did very little with since then. So I decided to level a Warlock here and just give it a go. And this is my first runs at Deadmines with this Warlock. Ended up in a party with level 16 warrior, so AoE was not super great. I had to really cut back on some of the damage in my AoE. I wanted to spam Rain of Fire, but every time I pulled or used Rain of Fire, it just grabbed all the aggro, which then was a struggle for the warrior to get the hate back. So I just kind of laid off a bit. And also the mage here was also ripping aggro off. So it seemed to be that the tank, healer, and hunter were already formed in a group. I think it was a Spanish group. There was very, very little communication throughout the whole run. So, as you see here, after this pull, after this boss, we had patrols come, and I did mention Pats, but maybe they were just too busy, you know, charging in ahead. And you'll see what happens when we get there. But anyways, yeah, so decided to give a crack at playing some Classic once more. It's been kind of enjoyable so far. Really liked it. Gives you a kick back to the old days when I played. I really don't know if I'm going to come back to retail. I didn't actually purchase the current expansion. I'm actually 2 expansions behind right now, but I'm guessing if you pay for the most recent one, everything is packaged together now. And I'm assuming that if you, no matter what package you pay for, you get a character boost. Because I think my highest level in retail is 70, which would be, you know, I guess I could always go on there and just kind of experience the leveling, but without having any of the expansion packs, Dragonflight, it's probably kind of a struggle to level up. The very first character I ever created was a Warlock back in vanilla. Didn't even make it to level cap before I decided to switch it to, I think, Paladin, which then I turned that guy into a twink, which he really was never a twink, but just kind of turned him into a battlegrounds kind of dude. So if you've made it this far into the video, give me a comment about what classes you like to play. You know, what's your strong talent builds, or do you enjoy tanking, damage, heals, experiences that you've come across along the ways. As you see, I turned my camera there. Mentioned here that there's patrols. I don't think they were paying attention, so I ran into the room so I wouldn't aggro any of them. Some of the players stayed out there, and as you see here, they are. Really not sure how these content creators can take a 30-minute video and just talk constantly. It always feels a little bit weird for me. I'm just talking to myself, trying to come up with some points and, you know, keep it somewhat entertaining while people watch the visual of the video, the dungeon run. But I just literally feel like I'm talking to myself, which seems a little crazy. I guess you probably get used to it. And boom, there I go. Didn't quite make it. A lot of ads here. There goes the tank. So, yeah, I kind of remember from the, you know, vanilla days that patrols would come after, usually killing bosses. So I knew that there would be some coming. I didn't think it was that fast, though. But I spun my camera around and there they were. So we step ahead here, up to the second boss. At this point, I wasn't feeling super confident that that this was going to be a clean, fast run. I think we ended up spending an hour and a half doing this dungeon. I really don't think it should have taken that long. The damage was pretty slow, but anytime I tried to burst out, like I said, I just grabbed aggro. In fact, I'm gonna pull some aggro right here off this boss too, if I remember correctly. Everyone else is spamming, but you know, I was a little bit higher level than everybody. But seeing how low the boss was, I just kept going. As you see, we made the kill. And here we are on to the third boss. This one went pretty clean, I believe. So yeah, so I'm interested in people's opinions on conversations or chat topics. It'd always be nice to read a bunch of comments to make note of those, so if I go forward with making another video, it gives me talking points, you know, answer questions to the community and, you know, do my best at giving my opinion or insight. And then it's good to see the community also discuss things and, you know, interact, grow. So it's been enjoyable playing so far, but yeah, I'm not too sure how long I'm going to stick with Classic. I do know that, like, I have a bunch of gold on my retail. So what I did for this current month was just use the gold to buy game time. And I could probably do that for 4 or 5 more months if this goes well. It'd be interesting. I kind of feel like I want to make content for it, but since I'm leveling, it's probably pretty boring. So I'm trying to find ways to make things somewhat entertaining. I am throwing shorts and stuff like that. I'm trying to do a little bit of, you know, testing on what I want to do with shorts and try to draw some attention to the channel, and, you know, so that's why comments and opinions and thoughts are always going to be welcome, because I'm just doing this stuff all by myself here. So it's not like I'm monetized or anything like that yet. I'm not. I have you know, I do have Twitch, but I haven't streamed on it. Kind of feels weird for me to go live with 0 viewers, but I guess that's one way to grow, right? But I always kind of felt like try to build a community through, you know, YouTube or whatever. People can watch your videos, comment on your videos, you know, and then as you see things grow, perhaps you can get into live streaming, but we'll see. I really don't know. I've played other MMOs like Final Fantasy 14, and I've played EverQuest and stuff like that back in the day. This was not a great situation. As you see, everything came after us. So we all hopped up here to, you know, the tank died, and we stayed in the safe zone, waited for things to despawn. So yeah, did anybody else play SOD? How far did they get into it? I don't even know what I think the last I knew they had season 3. I may have dabbled in a bit of season 2 for like a hot second, but I think I kind of just fell off on me. But you know, I have considered like trying hardcore for some content, see if that would be fun. But quite honestly, man, with the way vanilla is, I would probably just get killed so fast. But I guess you do care for pulls. I haven't watched anybody really do hardcore content with classics, so I guess there's plenty of channels and videos out there that could really give pointers for that. Again, comment below. So my first trip back to, was it Duskwood? Yeah. Of course, you have those like high levels just camping everybody. So there was a time I didn't record it though, because I was just doing regular quests, but running through town, and you had this a warlock sitting on the fountain just killing every little lobby as they walk by, and I don't have a problem with PvP and getting ganked, and you know, it's a bit sad to have somebody who's like level capped or 20, 30 levels higher than you just sitting in town for 30 minutes killing people. I mean, I get it. It's part of the life. And I guess there's enjoyment in that to some degree, but I don't know. Kind of seems weak to me. Sure, go ahead, kill somebody, gank them. That's fine. But to sit there and camp lobbies in a town while sitting on a roof or sitting on the fountain so the NPCs can't get you, you know, it's a choice, I guess. So as I go through Warlock here, I'm not like a specialist in the rotation, so I am doing destruction, but I do find it's real easy to rip aggro off of party members. But again, I mean, I was much higher than the tank, and I'm assuming once I go through like stockades, which I actually have to record still, getting a warrior tank would be a lot more sustainable, more viable for at that higher level content. But you know, I hear that the paladin tanking is by far superior, probably just at, you know, lower level AoEs or something. But again, I really haven't had much party experience since I've returned to TBC. Just basically primarily just questing, leveling up, getting some reels in for, you know, some shorts for just simple things. You know, try to get it out there, get some subs, you know, get the channel going, build that community, like I say. So wouldn't mind having a channel that like would do variety content. I just don't want to be one specific game, but I do know that it's tough to have a variety channel, especially if you're like fresh and new. So I have a bunch of other weird things that are on the channel, just, you know, sampling stuff that would see what's stuck. Literally nothing. But yeah, the WoW shorts that I put out, not doing too bad, you know, about 1,000 views so far per average. Not great, not the best, but I mean, much better than any of the other content that I put out. However, I never put out any shorts. So yeah, not the best, not sure the best way to show growth or anything like that. I don't really do, you know, Twitter or much social media based on any kind of gaming platforms, just personal things. Maybe I'll try to utilize that sometime in the future. So it's everyone's favorite retail expansion. Because obviously throughout the years, so much changed. And like I said, I haven't played retail since Dragonflight. And I didn't even do any end game content. I don't even know if I capped a level. Maybe I just kind of was turned off of the whole Dragonflight flying system. I kind of like the traditional, just fly, none of the fancy, you know, abilities and things like that. So I do know that they did incorporate, I believe, Dragonflight system into the full game, and I did mess around with it like when I think there was like a free weekend a while ago before I did the sub. So I did mess around with like leveling like a warrior just for a little bit because I wasn't subbed. I couldn't go too far, but so it did feel a little bit weird going through like the starting zones and flying and mounting like right away and doing all that. But anyways, get off topic here. Yeah, so here I am pulling aggro off the boss again. Oh, that's because the tank did. I guess I should look at that. Get a kill, not too bad. So I mean, I think we only had one full wipe at this point. You know, Soulstone the tank a bunch of times. I think like 2 or 3 times. Seeing that this was a hour and a half long dungeon. But yeah, use those up real quick. Of course, no hate on any of these players. It was a fun experience to rip through it. But yeah, probably could have been smoother. So does anybody else play other Blizzard games? Diablo 4, Diablo 1, 2, 3, StarCraft, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm? Played that for a while. I thought that was quite fun until they basically abandoned it. I really did enjoy that. And of course, you know, so we're getting to the last boss, and we're 18 minutes or so into the video. I think you can all figure out it's not gonna go well. At this point, they were just basically saying, actually, I'm not too sure if it was here, if it was later on, they wanted us to just focus Van Cleef, ignore the ads, which really felt like this wasn't gonna go well. So I rip off the aggro here. At this point, I'm thinking, should I just have my Voidwalker out? I didn't really want to step on the tank's toes, making them feel like perhaps they couldn't do it. But in this case, with all the ads, I felt like maybe it would have been a better idea. But, and I think after we wipe here, because it's going to be a wipe, I believe I did pull out the Voidwalker, just because I was like, yeah, whatever. wanted to get it done, and there's quite a bunch of ads here. So if you guys have any questions about, you know, anything, slap them down in the comments, and I will definitely read. Negative comments are always welcome too. Comment is a comment. So 10 more minutes left of this. Didn't be too bad. Just have to think of other things to talk about. So during this run, I believe I did get one piece of loot, and that's it. Nothing else dropped, or I lost the roll. So yeah, but I mean, I guess dungeons will go a lot smoother if you can get into a group of people that kind of communicate. And I believe since 3 of the members were in a party, they were probably communicating within their group. I didn't actually notice if they were in a specific guild themselves or not, but they were definitely in a pre-party because when they invited me, they were already grouped together. Then I think we picked up the mage. So we have the Walk of Shame, ghost form. Luckily, I remember the way from me playing a billion years ago. So yeah, in the comments, tell me what your favorite expansion was, what made it so good. I remember really enjoyed playing Mist of Pandaria at one point. Like, I thought it was kind of fun that they introduced the pet system, you know, with the companions. Like, what are they? Like the pet battles? Pet battles? My God, dyslexia. But if I heard correctly, they've removed that whole system. Like, you can't collect them anymore. I'm not sure if that means you can't collect them or there's just no battle system. They've removed the battle system. I mean, I haven't been on to check, so I don't know if that's specific to just owning Midnight, I believe is the name of the current expansion. Anybody here have a favorite streamer that they think I should check out that is really good at the game or just as fun to watch? That way I can, you know, maybe watch them. Maybe I'm already watching them from time to time. So of course, after you die, you gotta clear the respawn patrols because they're always annoying and respawning. Yeah, so I'm all up for reading tips. Probably first tip is close your bags. I seem to keep mine open all the time. Another tip I'm sure is going to be clean up your UI, but I kind of like a chaotic mess. Call me crazy. I like my abilities scattered all over the place like that. I don't know why. Just a hot mess that way. But yeah, check out some of the shorts that I did. I do some pretty lame ones where, you know, when I do the quests to get the succubus and stuff like that. So I did a quick short on that. Speed it up, tried to make it enjoyable. Enjoyable 30, 40 seconds. Anybody here actually streams or deals with a lot of party? How do you guys get over the feeling of grouping up with others? Anybody have anxieties for that? I always feel like I put unnecessary pressure on myself. Like, I have a damage meter and I'm always looking at it like I always feel like I have to just push. But in this case, I really felt like I couldn't push the damage because I didn't want to die and I didn't want to spend 3 hours in this dungeon. So I felt like slow and easy wins the race here. But if there's any other Warlock players, let me know, like, strategies that they use. You know, do you hand out health stones to every single player? Constantly mana tapping? Or you're always drinking? Didn't even get mage. See, that's the other thing, is it's like, didn't even request for mage food, but I honestly don't know if they get it at this level. I would assume so. It's been a long time since I've played any of this kind of any of these classes, really, so I have zero memory of when they get the abilities based on her expansion, because, you know, obviously everything changes. But yeah, like, so I'm setting myself up to do the Stockades run, and I only had like 3 soul shards, and I feel like, oh, it's my responsibility to go to the world and gather a ton of soul shards, so I'm ready for the dungeon when we're getting into it. But I mean, obviously I can collect them while I'm in the dungeon itself, but I feel like I try to be as prepared as possible. So I'm not too sure if the traditional etiquette would be to hand a health stone to everybody. I usually gave the tank at least a health stone, and, you know, obviously put the soul shard on them when I could, but 30-minute cooldown, right? I'm trying to play where I'm not going to the auction house and just buying stuff, even if I'm collecting a lot of gold. I'd kind of just generally like to either get a drop or get it from a quest, right? Dungeons or world drops. I don't mind getting a little bit of freebies from a friend, like a real life friend or somebody they know really well, because I think that works 2 ways. But yeah, I just didn't want to go to the auction house and buy just a bunch of really good gear and waste the gold, knowing how expensive obviously mounts are later on. But if anybody has like tips of best ways to get money, like on this guy, I'm not even doing a profession. I decided to do leather and mining. Sorry, not leather, but skinning and mining, just to create some at least early resources for cash flow. And then later on down the road, maybe once I've collected enough money or get further along the game, that way I could switch over to an actual profession and be specialize in something. So we all ran back, and now we bring the tank, because I guess the tank is too much of a diva to run back with us. So this is the second attempt and final attempt at the boss. We do get him here. I guess the thing is after this poll, as if you stay and watch, you'll see that people are starting to drop like flies, because the strategy was kill the boss, leave the ads. But then all the ads started killing everyone. So I actually never got to loot the head for the quest. I had to come back with a friend and overpower it and just 2-man it to get the head, because I wasn't sure if these ads were going to reset. So I just hearthed out and thought, okay, well, I'll just do it with my friend later. So yeah, the first run was unsuccessful, but I think that kind of comes down to me being a little shyer of a player, right? Like, I need to get used to just worrying about my own drops and worrying about what I'm collecting in the game, making sure I get the head. But I'm more subconscious about everyone else too, you know? So everyone basically died or left but me and the mage with like 400,000 ads. Here he actually kept really the aggro well, but then again, I had my Void Walker out slapping other things. So yeah, the video's coming to a wrap. It was somewhat entertaining yapping with you guys, and I hope you all come back and watch the rest of my videos and check out everything in the channel. Subscribe, comment, like. Thanks for showing up. Cheers.